Now tuning in, Life in General with RG Sam.
What a wonderful world.
Hey, what is up, you guys, and welcome to the pod. It's been quite a hectic week I had because I'm starting to run like a headless chicken, and I felt bombarded all throughout, and life has been lifing lately. And aside from that, I was experiencing some problems at home, so it's quite tough, yes. And by the way, that's not the vibe we try to bring in this podcast. Like, absolutely not. But the whole point is, we still made it through the week. And can I just say that you, as my listeners, are already growing slowly? And that's so cool, you guys. By the way, I wanted to make a shout out. We have a listener from Malaysia and United Kingdom. But first of all, paano umabot ng UK yung podcast na to, ha? Sige nga, paano? Anyway, that's so cool. We were going international slowly. And like I said from the previous episodes, that maybe try to comment down below on the comment section from where you guys are listening from so that I can give you guys a shout out on the succeeding episodes. So, and I just say, and I also wanted to mention that my very supported friend, Joel, who's listening from Malaysia. For some context, Joel and I have been colleagues from my previous job, and we have been working from my previous job, and we enjoy each other's company every time we spend our rest days from work because my previous job was extremely toxic. So we try to get out of our way to celebrate our small wins throughout the week. So, speaking of which, for this episode, we are trying to talk about small wins and how we celebrate them. So, just a disclaimer lang, I am not a professional nor an expert with life. I'm just sharing how I was able to learn through it and how I did it and thought about this something might help you out and remind you to celebrate our small wins. So, here you go, guys. I'll start telling you the lowdowns of what happened this week. At work, there has been a lot going on lately since we are heading on to fulfill a company project. So it's been a lot of paperworks I did and a series of meetings of another meetings. So ang dami. I try to keep up with all of this hype from my job. But again, I am not complaining because we're grateful na may work tayo and we're busy. So it's good to be busy. Ganun ba yun? Because we know that there's something productive that we are doing to make it happen. And let's try to deep dive on this, like what I'm trying to talk about. Kasi guys, nung una, ayoko maging part kasi ng project na to. But my boss is telling this project manager that I should be included. And clearly, the mindset was, quote-unquote, I didn't sign up for this. Kasi nga, with my current job, I try to regulate and properly manage my stress from work by not accommodating additional tasks. Since with my job right now, before there was like two of us, but now the functions of two persons were merged. And something came up until it indicated for a single role na lang daw. And honestly, no one prepared me for this. It was like, I was given this salbabida and ako na lang bahala mag-swimming pa uwi. Alam mo yung tipong tumutulo na yung kandila, bigla na lang inabot sa'yo, tapos napasok ka sa bawat tulo. Is that even the right metaphor? I don't know. Or maybe I'm just ruining it. I don't know. Let's give it a try. So at first, clearly, I was neglecting to be part of this project that they are trying to sign me up for to work on, but I try to sit on it and I said to myself that this might be a better opportunity for me to be added on the skill set that I already have, and it was nice to sharpen your skills by learning a new one, or kahit sa buhay, hindi lang naman sa work na may natutunan tayong bago, but you know, we can apply also in life in a sense na it helps us grow as a person and molds us to be better in whatever things we do in life. So I came into a consensus with myself that, you know what, let's do it. What else could go wrong? At least we tried for it, even though We didn't sign up for it, but it might be something that we can be thankful for someday. So whatever that may be, so as a result, ginawa ko na lang siya, and I enjoyed the process of learning through it naman. And now I've been stressing about it lately, like as in. So there, I know it's not that cool, not until the situation back home comes in, which is I'm not gonna tell you the details what it is all about. So I wanted to spiral out, which in fact I already did, but again, I try to get back through the whole point of all this, like why are we even doing this? So that that could be a great reminder for yourself that if you're in the brink of whatever that you're doing, this would result into something good, and you will reap what you have sown. So I was doing everything instead of complaining, and enjoy ko na lang siya and how I did it. I tried to bring my creative side, and it turns out it was appreciated by some of my workmates, and somehow na-realize ko nagpe-pay off din naman siya. So you just have to be dedicated in the effort that you put in to make it work. I'm also lucky that some of my workmates were very cooperative, which I really appreciate them from kasi ever since this role that I have with my job was handed to me, they just gave me the grace and the space to allow myself to make myself some mistakes because like I said, this was handed through me improperly. So I'm trying to learn everything with their help. So I'm very lucky in that sense that everything is running smoothly with them. And the best part of that is the moment the role was handed to me, I tried to communicate it with my boss that I hope they'll understand that if I make some mistakes along the way, they would try to understand because I'll try with the best of my capabilities to learn the tasks slowly but surely. And I really appreciated her gesture for me communicating that towards me. Like communicating that with her, I'm sorry. But because I also believe that communication with your boss or whoever person you're talking with goes both ways. So if you're trying to communicate things with them, then you are allowing this space for them to communicate things with you in that dynamic. So I even told my peers that, guys, in case I might run into different tangents with my functions, I hope you'll try to redirect me and guide me all throughout. Which eventually, they did naman, and I'm also happy for they also understand where I was coming from in that situation. And I think I mentioned this in my previous episode that I have this familial or outgoing relationship with my department. So since I'm far away from home, they are my chosen family as of the moment. Because, it is so hard to be far from home. So I also would suggest if you guys are venturing out by yourself for the first time, and you know that it is something foreign for you, or you did it just for the first time, I could definitely suggest that try to look around your workplace or whatever group of people you're at and try to see from them the family figure that you have back home. So for me, since I was here and my family is far, so I always treat them as family, like my ates and kuyas at work. And we also have a father figure as well, which is also cool. And ang saya lang kasi they were fun to me to be with. And it makes my job a lot more easier working with them. Although what comes along with that, there would also be challenges that may arise sometimes. And you just need to be ready for those. And I always stick to you and, just stick to your core values and integrity for what you believe in because the family you have back home is irreplaceable. So that's why we try to see them in a different kind of lens. But if you're gonna ask me, RG, paano pag I have a hostile and toxic work environment and I don't get along with them? So, to answer your question, try to at least find your own group of people whom you get to align your values with. And sometimes, hindi lang yan nakikita sa work ha. You can try to find that by thinking out of the box. So, if you're like, siguro nga wala sila sa four corners ng room na to, why not let's try to find or make friends outside work. Let's try to outsource. It can be from your neighborhood that you live in, or from the gym buddies that you used to work out with, or kung saan group of people man that you prefer na alam mo same kayo ng wavelength, because there would always be a lot of options for you to choose from. You just have to find them. So with me, I found them at work, and even if wala man sila sa office minsan, I'm good either way kasi kampante din naman ako once we get together. Sobrang saya din naman at the same time, sobrang gulo din. So there. So getting back to small wins, how I was able to get through it while I was in the like midst of my tasks, I try to pause for a quick second and remind myself that by the end of the week, I should treat myself like I buy myself some good coffee, or giving myself a good book to read, or just by simply rewarding myself something that makes me feel good. So I encourage you guys to always find that something that sparks joy for you to make yourself feel good, whatever forms that may be for you. Because if you were able to celebrate the small wins you did, it may be from work or some household chores and errands. It can be like you did the dishes, so when I'm done with this, I will celebrate this by watching my favorite show or movie, or kung ano man na reward na gusto mo ibigay sa sarili mo. Always try to reward yourself in a sense that you know how to value yourself, and it will encourage you to be even more productive to whatever tasks you'll have throughout the day or week. So always do this for yourself, because no one will. Minsan kasi, we often forget to give ourselves a pat on the back and say this to ourselves that we did a great job back there. And I also wanted to include that since we opened up about communicating with someone, like allowing the space to be open with communication, because I actually have this conversation with my ate last night, because there was this I am not quite sure if it is an argument, but we have this conversation last night that I didn't get comfortable with. So instead of me building resentment towards her, I just tried to communicate that with her, like, hey sis, I just wanted to I just want this to communicate with you, because with what you said earlier on your message, that I didn't like it. Honestly, I felt hurt about it, and it's not good in in my current mental state as of the moment. So it's because, as you know, there's a lot going on right now, and I cannot really focus on such stuffs if this will add up to my frustrations that I currently feel lately. So I'm telling you this, I'm communicating everything with you because I love you, and I don't want to build any resentment with you, because as far as I know, you are my family and you matter to me. So I just want to be open with you. And unang-una, I thought that we're about to have an argument that maybe she might invalidate me in some levels. So that was my expectation. But again, um, you won't you won't know if you were not able to give it a try. So it's actually the first time that I made a confrontation with my sister about what I felt last night. So it turns out it's really a nice conversation that we had. At least I was able to let her know that sometimes the choice of words that we put out there, it could be triggering at some of us. Like I know it's something that we need to hear, but you just get to how can I say this? You just get to compartmentalize what you just need to hear as of the moment, because you know for a fact that you're currently dealing something that is not good for your mental health. So I guess this is where your gentle self would always come into play, that you would always remind yourself that I I know this is something that I have to hear, but I just don't need to take it. Like, yes, it might hurt sometimes, but take it with a grain of salt, because someday you might thank them for saying that. Like, I know right now it's not the right mental state for you to listen all of this stuffs that you heard from her. But as long as you're communicating that whatever you feel with whoever person that you think you have to say those stuffs, then just try to do it, because wala namang masama kasi kapag subukan mo eh. At least you even tried. So if they were not able to acknowledge what you tried to communicate with them, then I think that's not your call anymore. It's not on you. It's already on them, because if they were able to just invalidate you in that sense, then I think you should, at least you did the self work that you put in on that argument. And you already did your fair share. So I think that is already good for you, in a sense na if ayaw nila, that's fine. I don't have any ill intent towards you, but at least I was able, like again, communication. I was able to communicate this with you. So there. And so ang dami na ko na nasabi. So that is all for this episode. I hope you like this, and if you do, please give it a follow if you want a good listen. So, and by the way, I know, hindi ko pa pala, ayoko muna pa palang i-end. Ang gulo ng episode na to. I'm so sorry. Because actually, guys, like I said in earlier, that I'm really running like a headless chicken. So there's really a lot going on my mind right now. So I'm trying to organize my thoughts in a sense that I keep my train of thought intact, you know? But yeah, so always try to just always just try to picture out your life in a sense that, try to just be vocal about whatever you feel. So there. So I don't want this episode to be too long for you guys, because I just want this to be that quick little nugget you could take away from, because I know currently today it's Monday, but but today is actually Sunday, the moment I was recording this. But the moment you'll hear this, it's already Monday. So we already have a lot to do in our to-do lists. So I just want this to be a quick catch up over a cup of coffee lang. Ganon. Because as you all know, I am publishing this on every mornings of Mondays. So while you're sipping down or chugging down your iced coffee or your caramel macchiato or whatever it is, ganon, I hope you find this a good listen. So yeah, that is all for this episode, and I hope you like this. And if you do, please give it a follow. And if you want to listen topics like this, and also you can try to comment down below, or either message us on Instagram at Life That in General Podcast. Let us know what topics you want to listen so that I can try to talk about it. So yeah, I think that is where we wrap it up everything. So ano pa ba? So there, no matter what shape or form, color or hue, life in general, you are not alone figuring this life all out on your own. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.